Okay. So that's your reasoning. Sounds very noble.
That's only half of it.
Okay.
That's only half of it.
Okay, well, let me continue. If all of this is true, am I to believe that you did not go to Bruce Castor first and ask that the two of you get together, one of you becoming the chairman, one of you becoming the vice chairman? I mean, this sounds like this was the deal of first resort, Joe Hoeffel. When I'm reading, it was the deal of last resort in order to get that chairmanship.
That's what I said. It's half the story.
Okay.
When I came back from running for lieutenant governor last year, Bruce presented himself with another candidate to knock me off as commissioner.
Why would he do that?
You know, I've heard different reasons. There was a story in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette right after I ran mentioning me as a possible gubernatorial candidate next time around, along with 6 other people. And I think that the thought process was, as I heard from some of Bruce's friends, was he wanted to establish himself as the clear gubernatorial favorite in the Southeast.
What you do believe is his ambition?
Oh, I'm quite confident it is.
Okay.
Yes, quite confident. Because before all this fell apart, I mean, we did have a written agreement at one point. And the written agreement, as of the day of the election, as a matter of fact, it was still in force, and that was that I would be chairman, but in turn I would back him for his governor race. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of other complications in there, but I was clearly going to be chairman. And that changed after the election. And you'll have to ask him why. Mm.
Okay, now you said I'd covered, if you could please simplify this so we can understand it. You said you had covered half the reason. Is that the other, what's the other half of the reason why you made this deal?
Well, Bruce and I, as I did previously with Mike Marino when I was elected with him in 1999, and in 2003 with Tom Ellis, we went out after the election in that interim period between the successful election and swearing in, which is about a 2-month period, and you'd meet and form your government. It's called transitioning. And in the process of transitioning, Bruce and I ran into a brick wall. We spent 2.5 hours on a Monday night football night sitting, trying to work things out at a table very much similar to this. In fact, it was at P.J. Wheelahan's in Whitpain. And we didn't get very far. It was obvious to me that Bruce wanted to be chairman. And I wasn't changing my position on being chairman. I had had 8 years experience. I knew government. Bruce only knew the prosecutorial side from his experience as district attorney.
So there was a power play here then. You and Bruce wanted to line up with each other, chairmanship and vice chairmanship, and neither one of you was going to give an inch on it.
And that was apparent from moment one. I was surprised because I thought it was understood that I would be chairman.
I understand.
So we talked for a couple hours, very, very cordial. Mm-hmm. And then we said, let's try this again next week. And then after 2.5 hours, and we were going into our 3rd hour, he said, what's your bottom line? Well, frankly, I jettisoned all sorts of things that I wanted to do and people I wanted to put in. I said, look, I'll be chairman. I'll have my solicitor back, Mr. Miller, who was my solicitor under the previous administration. And there was some word that he wanted to jettison the head of human resources, a lifelong political ally and a hard-working Republican, Peter Leese. And I said, look, let's just go, Bruce. We can do this together. I'll be chairman, as we had agreed. As of last March, we agreed before the election, okay. I would be chairman. Barry would be solicitor, 35-year participant in the party and trusted advisor, and Peter would stay in human resources. And Bruce sat back and said, Matthews, you're asking too much. And I thought after 35 years in the party myself, and just getting back from a withering cross-state experience, and having the 8 years experience at very effective leadership with reducing taxes and all the other good things I won't go into right now, I was just stunned by the fact that I now was not going to be chairman, and not only that, could not keep my chief of human resources.
Okay, hold that thought. We have a lot of ground to cover, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this.